So his third husband actually sent me a dick pic once.
You know,
all right, this is a... all right, hold on, no.
What happened right after World War II?
Hitler.
The Roswell incident.
Ah, yes.
So,
Gambling is actually healthy for you.
Gambling is good.
just like cheese.
Wait, so why are you a saturated fat supremacist?
Mostly because I'm a white person.
Oh, the valid.
I may
Putting
have
chemicals
heard
in the
this-
cheese to turn the freaking aliens gay?
Yes.
Two thoughts. The first of which is...
Saturate me, daddy.
Okay.
Okay, so they just like cow milk go burr.
Okay, that was
This episode is
quite
not
the monologue.
sponsored by Ground News, I swear to God. of violent
They
criminals.
literally sent out the thought patrol.
Yes!
Quick, what's Obama's last name?
Oh, Bin Laden.
Andrew Briggs, I think we just witnessed the creation of a new slur.
I'm very. Thank you, everybody, for being a part of this.
Do you think that that any races are superior to one another?
Yeah.
Wait, that's the order it's going to go in?
No,
Oh, okay.
that's exactly right.
PJ, disregard most of what he said. When we were here yesterday. No, I'm kidding.
Also, we now have 2 bonking sticks.
Oh, good. Absolutely
You can
what we
finish
need.
your story. I just wanted to get that out of the way.
Oh, no, so...
happened.
Steven, tell the audience about how you liberated your wife from Trinidad.
she liberated herself after getting shot at.
Oh, well, that's... I was expecting you to make something
People
up.
used to
Now
climb
it's
into the
sad.
hills behind her house and try to shoot her and her brother while they were in the pool.
I was hoping for kind of like a
I feel
Reconquista
like
style
being-
story.
I was thinking he was going to be like Columbus.
I don't
Yeah.
know the economic state
Columbus
of
was a good
Trinidad,
guy.
but something tells me that there may have been a bit of class hatred.
It is rated as the 8th most dangerous country in the world.
It's not
Okay,
unlike
so
Kensington.
if you're one of the families that
Give
owns
me
the
10 good
pool,
men and
you are
some climbing
not liked.
spikes.
Just like those guys from Texas who tried to go and take over the...
Oh yeah, didn't
when
they?
was that?
Didn't they get arrested by, like, the U.S.?
They got arrested by the U.S., yeah, because that was their plan.
What? Yeah, what? Come on. Yeah, there's nothing more Monroe Doctrine than sending... Not even sending, just letting a bunch of dudes from Texas go conquer territory.
God, I'm telling you, if those guys just were a couple hundred years earlier, they
would have been heroes.
They would have thrived. They would have thrived in that time.
They would have been hailed as heroes, man. I don't even know what episode we're doing.
You know what? I figured we'd talk about the Old West because you're from there.
I love the Old West.
Dude, you time traveled?
Well, that too.
Also, it does.
For the record, YouTube, it's not loaded. It's not even a real firearm.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh my god.
Okay, well now we're
Just sticks
demonetized.
a big black bar just like right over that.
PJ again, bars and tone with a we'll be right back.
Oh, did you guys remember the show Tiger King?
Of course. Yes.
So do you remember how what was it? Joe Exotic, I think his second husband accidentally shot himself.
Oh yeah.
So his third husband actually sent me a dick pic once.
I
You know,
All right, this is a... all right, hold on, no.
as a result
rating.
of this, he and my phone for his contact was tiger prints for a solid 4 years.
I can tell you this right now. The opening line of this that is going to be stitched together
Dylan,
is
it was-
just, his third husband sent me a dick pic once, and that's just going to be the opening line
my
right there.
God.
Dylan, I appreciate your enthusiasm. It was a good one, I think.
All right.
I'm glad you're happy with your husband.
Compliments to the chef.
Yeah. Yeah, that was early COVID. I'm sitting there watching Tiger King, and I'm like, hey,
Yeah, did you
I
wanna
have this
finish
guy
your
in my
story?
Snapchat somehow. Anyway, yeah, you want to finish
What?
the story?
Wait, how? What?
When COVID started, there was like Memezar, one of those other big Instagram pages, was like, hey, everybody, since we're all going to be locked inside, why don't we exchange like Snapchats and make some big groups? Horrible idea. Like, objectively terrible idea, but I owned a gun.
That just sounds like...
Dude, that informs so many of my decisions. I have a gun.
Exactly. I'm like, this is probably dangerous, but I have a gun. So I did that, and a bunch of people added me, and I didn't talk to most of them ever, but the one guy, I guess, took a liking to my profile, and started chatting, and it didn't take long for me to clock what was going on. And I was like, I appreciate the interest, but I don't really swing that way. He offered to, have me fly to Florida and go out for a steak dinner.
I'm pretty sure that's
they
not
gotta
the
butter
meat
you
he was
up,
trying to
man.
feed you.
So here's the thing: you would think that would be like, the weirdest invite to a steak dinner you've ever had. But when I was in college, I interviewed Richard Spencer, And he also offered me steak dinner if I ever wanted to come to Texas. So I have some of the weirdest standing steak dinner invitations of any person you've ever met. And I have simply not capitalized on any of them.
I was going to say, I wonder
have
how many you're going to rack up.
I also have 2 out of 3 Hannah Montana stars siblings following me on Instagram. I just need Haley Joel Osment. And then I will have one from all 3.
Oh, dude, if you...
All right, this is the
Shout
task.
out Mason Musso and Brazen Cyrus. You guys are chill.
This is the task for chat to go and create Twitter accounts. Is just start spamming them.
You need
as
to get
rapidly
Haley
as-
Joel Osment to follow me on Instagram. This is imperative.
Did the voice acting for Kingdom Hearts, right?
I think so. He's also the kid in Sixth Sense.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the same person. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's some wacky follower lore.
right? Yeah, I've had a weird life, guys. For the record, when I interviewed Richard Spencer, it was for a libertarian magazine. It was because I had accidentally asked him a question at CPAC once. I saw a big crowd of reporters standing around one guy, and I was like, oh, well, that seems like it should be important. Little 19-year-old me wearing my Turning Point USA Socialism Sucks t-shirt that I got for free.
Rock and roll. Oh, you
so-
got it for free?
Yeah. Well, I was so here's this comes up. This actually recently came up.
crowdfunded
So here,
t-shirt?
this comes up once a year at least. Yes, I was a Turning Point USA vice president in college. I was 19. I was a freshman. They pitched it as a very libertarian organization, free markets, free people, free speech, all that stuff. And then I was like, okay, cool. We're all about freedom. I'm going to go set up a meeting with the NAACP chapter on campus so we can fight white supremacy together because there was a white identitarian movement going on. I actually knew who was doing it, which meant I had a pretty good position to be like, hey, we should stop this from happening. And so I actually had a meeting with their vice president. It was really productive. He and I were aligned on a ton of issues. And then I went back to Turning Point USA to tell them about it, and he went back to the NAACP to tell them about it. And their president was like, oh, absolutely not. And our president was like, that's an interesting idea. Why didn't you talk to me about it? Oh, by the way, I went and told the chapter head about it for Pennsylvania, and you're fired.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, they were like, you can't do that. And I was like, what did I do wrong here?
That's a
so
weird
I filed a motion to impeach the president of the chapter. Unanimous.
wow.
Everybody in our chapter, but I think one person actually was behind me on that. But because Turning Point had the final say and they didn't want to rock the boat or go back on their decision, they kicked me out. And then I became the president of Young Americans for Liberty at Penn State. And Turning Point at Penn State turned into a weird little neo-Nazi hotbed. I tried to rescue it, but I did not succeed.
We could not have been further apart politically when we were younger. And I
Were you a
think
tanky?
no, dude, I was just I don't know. I was in this weird, ill-defined, panic-induced leftist. I don't know how to describe it other than that. I was just scared that everything was going to
Yep.
which I suppose
I think we all were, and we just took different approaches to solving that.
Oh, I rode the political compass like a roller coaster
Oh, yeah.
for a solid
I feel
decade
that.
there.
Dude, when I met him, he watched The Young Turks. A year later, he's showing me Mali Yiannopoulos.
Yep.
Yeah, I've
Oh, yeah, I went all over the
watched
place.
I'm kind of in that same boat. I've watched everybody and everything at this point, and for the most part, the thing that I keep coming back to is I'm like, wow, I really don't want any politicians to ever talk to me. And
Yeah.
I'll be good if that happens.
At this point, every time I take the political compass test, I just move closer and closer to the direct center of it.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, I was dead center for a solid 5 or 6 years. And then I really started to hate corporations. So I'm just slowly moving down and left.
Yeah.
Because every compass test is always like, how do you think that corporations owe their shareholders more than the people? And I'm like, do we remember the 1890s? Obviously not. And that just keeps moving me down.
Also, in a legal sense, it's yes, but
I mean, they owe their...
like that.
Yeah.
The funniest thing about all those political compass things is it's there will be 1 or 2 questions where it's just so you know, if you answer this, you are now in the extreme.
Yeah.
So it's like one of
You
the
can tell based on how you're looking at it.
Yeah,
too. You're
yeah.
It's do you think that any races are superior to one another?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. One of the ones that makes me laugh every time is do you think we should have a strong border? And it's like, yes. And it's like, okay, not.
It's like, all right, so we're actually dialing ICE on your neighbor for you.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Deal with that.
Yeah. No, dude. Some of them
They
are
also
really
haven't been
funny.
updated since 2008.
That's the other thing
Yeah,
that I was
yeah.
gonna say, man. Yeah, there was one that I took probably in 2022, and like I don't know. I think the closest political analog that it gave me was like Bernie Sanders, and I was like, that's not correct. But
we just took the politicalcompass.org one like last weekend, just because we were curious. Yeah, just
we took it over while we were in Yellowstone.
Oh, did you really? Yeah. Oh, yeah. But yeah, we took it again last weekend, and one of the questions was, our civil liberties are being tramped upon in the name of counterterrorism, and I was like, oh wow, this is a Bush era test.
Yeah. Also, I side with, which is a lot more in depth. Still, same thing. Like, hasn't been updated since Ron Paul ran for president in 2008. I will say this: I would still take Ron Paul. Give me Ron Paul as president. I don't care that he's 98 years old.
In hindsight, I think he was probably not the worst choice.
It's the crazy thing about Ron Paul in 2000. I think it was 2012. He was winning in the primaries. He was like leading in the primaries. And the media, the right-wing media, all collectively, I mean, I say all collectively as if it wasn't just Fox, but just agreed that they were going to get rid of that. They stopped covering him. They started only covering negative stuff about him.
That's exactly what they did
because they wanted Mitt Romney. It is exactly what they did with
I will say Mitt Romney also, in hindsight, probably not the worst choice.
He had fun.
John McCain was awful.
John McCain was awful.
Like, it's uncomfortable for me to say this because of all the horrible things he did when he was president, but Obama was the right choice in 2008. John McCain would have had us at war with Iran.
Yeah.
That would have happened. Mitt Romney was about as milquetoast as it gets. I don't know how comfortable I would be with a Mormon president.
Dude, I want to
realistically, against who he was like running against, Obama was the right choice.
In a weird
times.
No,
I'm sorry, but
I'm taking Romney over Obama.
I just want that.
I'll definitely take 2012 Romney over 2012 Obama. I might take 2008 Obama over 2012 Romney, which is a really weird thing to say as me because I voted Libertarian in every election. And then I couldn't bring myself to do it. I just didn't vote in the last one because Chase Oliver just... It was like somebody was like, all right, we have the worst presidential candidates in history. As the Libertarian Party, we present to you a damp cum sock. And you're like, what was the point of this? Yeah. Why did we do this?
This further solidifies my belief that politics are just sports for nerds.
Well, that's what it turned into. It was before like the proliferation of modern media. It wasn't as bad. But it really did, especially in the 2010s. It became a reality show and a popularity contest.
Yeah. Although we were listening to that Stephen Ambrose book on the way out to Yellowstone, and as you're listening to what presidential candidates were chirping each other with back in the early 1800s, you're like, oh,
yeah,
it's always been.
They're still grilling each other. Yeah. It's like
they're like John Adams is a fop.
Yeah.
And you're like, that was a hard insult back then.
Oh, I was listening to a Jefferson book recently and was like, even the election after Washington was like, guys, I'm done. I just want to go farm. All of the possible candidates were just funding news outlets to spread lies about each other.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, oh, so this is just the standard.
No, this is something I love when I go back, because what I do for my job a lot of the time has me reading these. For those who don't actually watch Lore Lodge and just know us from Steven, I do historical missing persons cases and historical true crime cases. And what I'll do is I'll find myself going back through papers, and there is a point around, like, I'd say the 1940s where papers that are named the something Democrat, the Republican Herald, start to fade out of existence after, like, the Second World War. You'll still find them up through, like, the 70s in some places, but between the Second World War and the Civil Rights Movement, papers that openly identified themselves as the something Democrat or the something Republican, and this is not scientific, I haven't done a study on this, it's just my anecdotal, having read so many of these papers, you start to see that just fade out, and papers go to, the Times Tribune, the News Journal, the, something Star.
There is a legal reason for that.
I'm sure there is.
It was the Fairness Doctrine.
Was that, I thought that was instituted in the 50s.
46.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That explains it then.
So, yeah, that's that, and then that lasted up until Reagan repealed it in, I think, either 84 or 86.
But by that time, nobody's
feel about that repeal.
I don't like it primarily because you can say I can understand the perspective of, oh, well, if they're just hiding what their, goal is.
Yeah.
But the law was that you had to represent both sides of the argument. And the key point there, and the reason why I like that, is because And the whole point of it being fairness is then you don't get echo chambers that we have now or we had before, because the problem is that even if you represent both sides, but like you clearly have a bent, you're still having to like show a holistic view of whatever scenario you're talking about to the best of the ability to a legal standard. Now it's just, I think one of the biggest problems and the reason for the division in the country, and I've had this conversation with many people, is because you're not seeing both sides, you're getting a biased view that appears to be both sides because they are editorializing every story to fit the narrative that whatever publication that you're listening to wants to spread. And the problem is that we all have our own internal biases. So if you have the news outlets biased towards your bias, and you inherently as a human, like the species, you are instinctually driven to align yourself with that, and it actually goes against the grain of your being to go outside of it and try and like create conflict with yourself to learn other things that you might disagree with. You're going to inevitably, just by the nature of how you exist in the world, continue to fall down that spiral. And it's like, if we don't enact some form of regulation like we already did that proved to help unify people, it's just going to make things worse.
That's exactly the thing that pushed me left.
Fantastically well said.
I was going to say that was
This episode is
quite
not
the
fucking
monologue.
sponsored by Ground News. I swear to God. I swear to God.
Tim, get on it.
Actually, I do have another thing that kind of falls in line
Yeah,
with that
tell
as well.
us. I like this. I didn't know where this was going to go, but I'm glad that we started talking about like the history of how politics got to where it is now.
Yeah,
this is
this is
good.
fun.
This is good.
There's a study that I want to say came out within the last like 5 or 10 years. And I think it was titled something like "The Only Thing That Is Bipartisan Is Political Bias" or something like that. And it was a meta-analysis of a good handful of studies. I think 18,000 different people combined. And the only thing that they found politically between the left and the right was that they very consistently do not trust the experts that disagree with them, and very consistently do trust the experts that do agree with them.
Yep.
And that was basically it. Was that there was statistically no meaningful difference between it. If you were left, you trust the left. You don't trust the right. If you're right, same thing, inverted. And it's just like when I don't know. I guess there's something there that people have this idea of like, oh well, my side is different. We don't have bias, and we don't this and we don't that. And it's like, no, you do. And you're surrounded by it, and you're just drowning in it at all times, and it's to the point that you just don't even notice it.
Well, and I think we have hit the point now where independents are the largest political bloc by far, right?
At least people who identify themselves as, it doesn't mean that they actually are, but people
will
who
be
think
that-
of
yes,
themselves
exactly.
because they are so alienated by the extremes.
Well, a really interesting thing about that too is I took Young Americans for Liberty's it was, I can't remember the exact name of it, but it was an election. It was basically like a campaigning course, like a 3-day intensive campaigning course. Might have been 2-day. Point is, they made it very clear within the first hour. They were like, if you are canvassing for whether it's yourself or for somebody else, and you see a house that has, say you're canvassing for a Republican candidate, if you see a house that has a Democrat sign out front, skip it. There's no point. There's literally no point in doing it. You will never get them. If you see a house that has a Republican sign, if it's your candidate, skip it because they're already voting for your guy. If it's a primary and it's the opponent and we're operating on this, see what you can do. But if it is a sign for the other guy, probably just skip it. Yeah. Like the people you want to approach are the houses that do not have a political sign out front, because those are the ones that you can get. And in order to win any given election, I don't know how much this has changed since 2019. In order to win any given election, you only needed to get the 6% in the middle, because they were basically like the people who are definitely going to vote one way, the people who are most likely going to vote one way, and then in the middle, there's this tiny little sliver of 6% of people who are true independents, and they're the only people that actually matter in an election when you break down the numbers. So just canvassing, that's all you're supposed to really target.
Well, there is another factor to that here, because this also comes from the varying studies they've done, which is that it's not just a matter of the people who are in the middle. Those are the most important to sway. but also you have to rally your base.
Yeah.
Because there's been too many examples where something has been done of, oh, well, they're going to vote for me anyway, so I'm not going to do anything.
That was the thing about the sign, is if the sign is there, they're already voting.
Exactly. But there have been many people who say they vote one way or another, and then they literally just don't go out and vote. They don't do anything. So they have to specifically be spurred to do something. And usually in the modern day, this is done with fear tactics, as you oftentimes see.
For example, when Gabby wants Steven to vote a certain way.
Yes. What does she do?
I get threatened with a very painful experience.
Yeah.
Or pleasurable? You don't know.
This is an interesting discussion about campaign
be sure.
strategy, because there was something that happened not too long ago that apparently was a massive deviation from an understanding of modern campaign strategy, which
How
was
massive was it?
Oh, dude, it was absolutely Barack.
Huge.
incredible.
Did you? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. But apparently, Mamdani's election was that was the first time in decades that there was a major shift in the understanding of campaign strategy. Up until that point, supposedly, the general strategy was, and it was highly correlated to near 100% success rate. Whoever the candidate was on either side of the political spectrum that spent the most money on television ads won the election. Mamdani was the first time in several decades where he broke that standard, and it was because he went full social media as opposed to television.
Did Trump actually spend more than Biden?
No,
Harris?
No, God, no. Trump did not spend
Not
as
more than
much,
Biden,
and
I meant
it's-
more than Harris.
No, because actually, no. Harris spent a lot more, to the point that they were actually in debt at the end.
It doesn't seem like Mamdani would have been the first one then.
It may have been for a lower level.
I think it means within New York.
Yeah.
Within New York history, that was the first time that it happened.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It was like something about that doesn't sound right.
Because I think in total, God, I'm trying to remember the statistic on this here. I think Harris spent like an additional 80 million more than Trump did, but it got so bad that at the end of it wasn't that it was 80 million more. I think it was at the end they owed still something like 50 to 80 million in just additional things that had to be paid out yet.
Because post election, they were still fundraising. They're like, hey guys, we still need money.
Yes, there was all these, I think, celebrity figures or whatnot that were coming out saying, "Hey, I haven't been paid yet."
Yeah.
Because they endorsed and then weren't paid, which sounds so.
That's
like,
I think
when
that's
that
we need
came
to
out,
ban that. You should not be able to pay somebody for an endorsement.
When that
Yeah.
came out,
Well, we also need to
I
reverse
was looking at
Citizens
this
United.
like, oh my God, this is shameful. This is shameful to a horrendous degree. But it's
How do you guys feel about the Citizens United decision?
wait.
Fill me in.
That was the one that everybody's like, that's the one that said corporations are people from a legal standpoint in terms of their ability to contribute to campaigns. It also did the same thing for unions.
Yeah, well, and in general, money isn't considered speech.
Yeah.
No.
Where
Very
does the
against.
term you vote with your dollars come from if it's a speech, you know?
That's the thing. Well, and that I think was the problem of that. I think it was in 2010 where they made that ruling. It's like they very well easily could have said, money is not speech. Speech is speech. And in that way, completely obliterated the ability for multinational corporations, national corporations, or just people with a lot of money making super PACs, preventing them from being able to sway elections to the extent in which they have. I also think lobbying needs to be written entirely.
The whole election system we have is flawed from the ground up and needs to be completely revised.
Yep.
My mom told me I should have been a lobbyist.
My mom told me I should have been alive.
I'm
That
so
right
serious.
there in the intro. My mom told me I should have been
My,
alive.
when I was a little kid,
Like
not super
Stalin's
young.
mother telling him he should have been a priest.
So that was the other thing. My mom said that my true calling was being a priest, a lobbyist, or a lawyer.
You do have the Orthodox priest beard going on,
Bro, it gets
You're getting
massive,
there.
Is it
too,
just
if I
because
keep
you're
going.
good at like arguing and sales pitching? Yeah.
This is where you wear the lobster tax evasion shirt with the
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
cross over
was
it.
telling him about
And
this.
just
My whole team has tax evasion T-shirts.
Good, as you should.
Yeah.
I would like to end up in the Tax Evasion Hall of Fame personally.
Incredible.
It's not tax evasion, it's
Eludement, perhaps. I think
it's
that's
quantum
another word.
accounting.
Quantum accounting. Damn, what a rebrand.
Yeah.
Holy
40 Excel sheets.
Yeah.
we haven't launched any History Unhinged merch. There needs to be something like that.
Quantum accounting.
Quantum
Yeah.
accounting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Really.
It's not tax evasion. It's quantum accounting.
I don't know what quantum even means.
I referenced that in the video that I have coming out where there's this whole thing where people will like learn just enough to sound like they know what they're talking about. Quantum mechanics was the thing for a long time, and I have this specific memory where I'm at a party with my girlfriend at the time, and she's telling me, she's like, oh, so and so, he's so smart, like it's crazy. Like when you talk to him, I think you'll love the way that he thinks. And the longer he's talking, I'm going, I watched the same YouTube videos. I didn't say that, but yeah, he kept being like, oh, quantum entanglement, string theory, this, that, yada, yada. And I was like, you're repeating a script you've heard. I didn't say that, but I knew that that's what was going on.
You can't let the women know.
Well,
you cannot let the women know that we're all just watching YouTube videos.
My favorite thing about
I take him out back, and I'm like, hey, buddy, I know. Just don't blow it for us.
Yeah. It's like, I also really like Veritasium.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah.
But my favorite thing about that, though, especially with quantum computing, is, and again, this is coming from a YouTube video, even the people working at IBM on the actual supercomputers and quantum computers, one of the interviewers for, I think it was like Business Insider or something, was asking, like, so what exactly is the structure of, like, at that level, how it functions? And, like, the leader of the group was like, I gotta be completely honest with you, we don't know. We just know it works. We're trying to figure out why and how.
Works.
Yeah, it's literally,
it's not a bug, it's a feature.
It is current magic. They're like, we just...
That is such a good way to explain.
Every single quantum mechanics guy is just Todd Howard.
And they're gonna do it again. And again.
That's another good t-shirt. Yeah. Quantum mechanics, it's just current magic.
Yeah. Because, like, any magic is just, like, things that can happen ethereally that we don't fully understand yet.
Bethesda Game Studios, quantum mechanics scientists, not knowing how it works.
16 times the detail.
And then just a random wheel of cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then on the back, stop you violated the law or took an arrow to the knees.
You know what? I have a new conspiracy theory that I'd like to posit.
Let's do it.
You know how we have the cheese caves?
Yes.
You're familiar with the cheese caves? Oh, he doesn't know about the cheese caves.
I do. I'm wondering if you guys do. So how about
you haven't watched that YouTube video?
I want you guys to.
He hasn't watched the Fat Electrician video on it yet. So there are cheese caves in Wisconsin. There are entire caves just filled with wheels of cheese.
Yes. Do you know why?
Grow it and scrape it off the wall.
It's a mushroom.
Yeah. Do you know why they are filled with cheese?
Don't lie to me.
Why are they filled with cheese again?
So there's
this has to do with my conspiracy theory.
Great thing. So
my idea is better than yours.
There's a Climate Town video on it. And the reason that the cheese caves existed...
Climate Town isn't real.
No, it can't hurt you. Great show, though.
That's just Zootopia.
So he goes into the details of how these happened. So apparently it's a result of part of the problem of the Great... I think it was the Great Recession, which happened before the Great Depression.
Too much cheese.
I know. Well, literally, it was they were buying like dairy futures, and then it crashed, and the government went in
hiding them to make the price.
No, not even at that point. They were on the stock market. They were buying dairy futures. It got to a point of a bubble. It burst, and then the government came in, swooped in, and said to all of the dairy farmers in. Oh no, wait, sorry. This is a little later. That was a thing issue. This was after World War II. We were producing so much dairy for the war effort and things like that after the war, all of these dairy farms existed, and suddenly demand immediately dried up. So the government said, well, we're going to buy any dairy that the market doesn't buy. So then all of the dairy farmers said, you mean no matter how much we make, you're going to buy it?
Oh, my God.
Okay. So they just like cow milk go burr.
Milk machine go burr.
Exactly.
I don't think that's how they milk them.
So
I'm sorry, guys. What you're saying is they milked it for all it's worth?
Yeah. And then so the government was like, oh, well, we can't let this sector die. We'll just keep buying it. And then so the dairy farmers were like, well, milk goes bad. We can make shelf-stable things like cheese. So we'll just turn it all into cheese. And the government was like...
Because cheese just gets better.
Yeah. So they were like, well, you guys are making a lot of cheese, and we have nothing to do with it. We're just going to cold store it. Underground in a lot of caves. And they did start doing the government cheese at one point, which was the ability to try and get rid of some of it. And that was literally just free cheese that you could get if you were like a certain point below like the poverty
I gotta
threshold.
say, in terms of like SNAP benefits for that kind of thing, the idea of just wheeling out a cheese
Oh,
just
yeah.
wheel
Yeah.
from
Also, if it's the
Wisconsin.
right
like,
kind of cheese, it's got protein, it's got nutrients. Like you can supplement most diets with a
and then
wheel
some
of
people are
cheese.
going to say they're lactose intolerant, to which I say, well,
Just
don't be a
tolerate it.
bitch.
It's like
There's a guy
it
on
should have been.
Instagram called the Cheese Man, and he's jacked, and
I
he eats
believe
a
it.
lot of cheese.
Yeah. Well,
Cheese
also,
is great aside from
I have,
saturated
I
fats.
have two thoughts. the
that's
first
my
of which
favorite part.
is
Saturate me, daddy.
That's how you build the bear
Okay.
body. You build the bear body with that.
the first of these thoughts is just occurred during this conversation. If we go into a it hits the fan situation, vegans are screwed.
Oh yeah,
They don't even have the enzymes to eat the cheese.
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's a bit of a problem. Vegans,
then
you gotta,
they gotta
you got
reset
for
with
your
the raw
own
milk.
good, for your own safety. You should
Not
be eating
exactly
some cheese.
concerned about them. You just turn them out to pasture. They'll nature will take care of it at that point.
Are you suggesting that we eat the vegans?
No. What I'm saying is
They're gonna be
We're not gonna have much fat on them.
I was just gonna say.
Should I look for your name in the files?
Oh man, I'm trying to.
Anyway, my second thought is this is way better than yours. Your explanation,
do this.
your explanation for why we have the cheese is very mundane and therefore gay.
I do have something to tag on to the very end
Was
of
it fake?
Yes.
Might have been.
Because
Thank
what
you,
I'm going to
Candace
say
Owens.
is, I think we. Yeah, thank you. The Jews are actually running the cheese caves. So my thinking is, we started accumulating this cheese when
After World War II.
after World War II. What happened right after World War II?
Hitler.
The Roswell incident.
Ah, yes.
So, what I think is that when the Roswell incident happened, what they figured out is those aliens were very allergic to cheese.
Oh, I thought you were going to say when you let cheese age long enough, it actually coalesces into element 115, which is then utilized to power their ships, according to Bob
Pentium?
Lazar. Yes.
The very creatively named element 115. Come on, science.
Scientists are bad at
you guys-
branding.
What happened to naming things cool things?
Can we also have a discussion later on about how bad physics names for things are?
Yeah. I really like unobtainium.
I was literally
That's
just going
fun.
to reference unobtainium.
That's fun. But space-time is a horrible term for what that actually is.
In the sense of it does not describe it at all.
No, not even close.
yeah.
Also, dark matter. Horrible name for that.
No, it's really
Yeah,
cool.
I think
it's really cool.
It's really cool, but it's horrible for a general public understanding
It
of what
doesn't
it actually
describe
is.
it, but it sure is cool.
It is cool.
Continue with your cheese. Your element 151.
115.
115. Oh, I was just going to say, I think that they're accumulating the cheese to fight the aliens.
I would agree with that.
I learned about this in the Montauk Project.
PJ, can you do an edit of Will Smith saying "Welcome to Earth" and Independence Day, but instead of a punch in his hand, it's a wheel of cheese, and he's hitting the alien with it?
Welcome to Earth.
Sure that the pyramids down in Mexico were quite literally just launching platforms for cheese artillery.
No, those
Maybe
are in
that's why we
Egypt.
put the cheese in wheels.
That's also why
The cheese is a wheel because it's the flying
That's what
saucer
happened to
shape.
the dinosaurs. That's where the asteroid hit.
It's a
is down in the
geometric
Yucatan Peninsula,
conspiracy theory.
Meaning the aliens were trying to knock out the cheese launching platform.
Oh my god.
It makes sense.
The circle of cheese, the pyramids,
Of cheese? The pyramids of cheese?
the moon. What is it made out of?
Cheese.
So anyway, I have.
Are they putting chemicals in the cheese to turn the freaking aliens gay?
Yes.
No,
I may have heard this
straight.
theory, or I may have
Aliens are gay.
recreated it in my mind. But the excess of cheese and milk and all that like dairy products, wasn't that a big part of what ended up influencing the Got Milk campaign? Because we had so much extra dairy.
Oh, that was in the same Climate Town thing. So that was
Is that what's going on now?
It is
Are we
also
just over dairied at the moment?
No,
Oh,
I'll
100%.
explain what that is.
No,
in a
we
sec, but
actually are.
continue.
So, like, our dairy consumption has gone up by about like 2 to 3 times since the 70s.
God, I love this
There
country.
there is essentially the equivalent of a super PAC, but instead of funding for political stuff, it's funding for a marketing campaign for. It's not a specific company. It's just the idea of
that
milk
is
and
the
cheese.
entire reason why dairy is a category in the old food pyramid.
Yes, it's also the reason why we have stuffed crust pizza, because
What?
Telling me the
fuck?
government is responsible for stuffed crust pizza?
no,
I have to thank a government official.
No, it's not government. It is.
thank God.
It is a conglomeration of all dairy producers funding a mutual campaign to get dairy products as much in as many products on the market as possible. So anytime you see like a taco stuffed with cheese and from Taco Bell,
Dairy condoms.
yes, literally. Any of that is because all dairy producers are contributing to a fund, to a marketing firm to get as much dairy in the population.
Can I just
as
say
possible.
that I love the fact that this conspiracy exists? First of all, that it's real.
Yes.
And second of all, that of of all the conspiracies out there, it's probably the least harmful.
Yeah.
It's literally just like, hey guys, you should eat some cheese.
Well, you say that, but at
ultimately,
the
it's
same
just
time, that's
we-
also the
we
reason
want
why
to make
heart disease
money.
has skyrocketed in this country.
Oh no, I would disagree with that.
There's other
among
problems that are
others.
causing heart disease. It's not just cheese.
Oh yeah, it's one factor of many.
Are you telling me that big cheese is a real thing?
Yes.
Cheese.
I am a
Big
saturated
cheese, big
fat
milk.
elitist.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm familiar with big milk.
Dude, when they milk this conspiracy for all it's worth.
And
call me back.
end of show.
What's that?
That's what they used to call me back at Penn State. Big milk. Dude, Penn State had the best chocolate milk I've ever had.
There's this company
So
down
good.
in Vegas.
Wait,
that-
so why are you a saturated fat supremacist?
mostly because I'm a white person.
Oh,
so.
valid.
I know that sound. Bear with me on this. So
Hey, yo.
there's this
PJ, can we get an edit where his question was, so why are you a white supremacist?
like please don't do that. I don't want anyone who's
Cancel
not
Andrew.
I don't
Get
want anyone
Andrew
who's not
canceled.
well reading.
Have the white be somebody who is clearly like not me and has a weird accent.
It's Kamala Harris.
Okay, so I'm really into the idea of ancestral dieting because I think even in the
Walking a fine
areas.
line here, Andrew.
Bear with me.
You don't need to eat your ancestors.
Oh
I'm
yes,
sorry.
I do. In the sense of, mind you, this was like, I suppose technically is my career for almost 15 years. Is just being a full-time health coach.
Everybody who just watched the last episode is going to be really confused by that statement.
Absolutely, yeah. But believe it or not, you guys, whatever you saw in the last episode, which you should watch,
Gambling is actually healthy for you,
gambling is good for
Just
you
like cheese.
if you do it right.
just like cheese.
I
That's making the opening crawl for sure.
I have been. It's a really, really good shorthand way to figure out the way that you should eat. So it's when I was doing intakes for all my clients and everything, a component of it was who was your family 2, 3, 4 generations back, and what were they eating, and that's actually going to inform a decent bit of how your genes. Or how you basically came to be was
If your
through,
last
like-
name is Donner, the answer is each other.
exactly.
You know, I was actually hoping to talk about that. That's why I brought the tomahawk, and then we somehow ended up on cheese.
We can get into them because
So,
I'm
yeah,
Donner Party had more cheese; they would have survived.
so wait, hold on.
The
hold on,
idea
let me-
essentially that the
dieting here,
Celtic
what your
diet is very
generation-
different than the Mediterranean diet.
Yes,
and-
the very simple fact is like and I reference this in another video is that I had a client who good God.
Yeah, isn't it like
Combination.
whole grain bread, fish, and cheese is like kind of all you need?
well, if you're Mediterranean.
Asterisk. But so kind of yes, but the way that I reference it in another video is that I had this this one gal who was training at my gym, and she wasn't my client, but I knew her well enough, and she was just like constantly like hurting her back, and I was kind of like the guy for weird things that other people couldn't figure out at my gym.
So you're the Dr. House of gyms.
Yeah, but it was just gym bro. So she comes to me
in there somewhere.
and she's like, "Hey, I keep hurting my back squatting," and I'm like, okay, I've seen you squat. You move fine. You're strong. You know, you've been doing this long enough. Do you have any kind of inclination? And we like go back and forth for it or about it for a little while. And her husband, at the time, I think fiance, was Hispanic, and the diet that Northern Europeans
Oh no.
and Mexicans are eating is not the same. So the diet that she was eating, because she was always making like dinner for him, was causing her to bloat, her not being able to brace as effectively. So she kept hurting her back when she was squatting. So she literally, this sounds so funny, cut a bunch of beans and rice out of her diet and started eating a higher meat diet and stopped injuring her back.
This explains why I like meat so much.
You're a white guy, bro.
Yeah.
This
Like
explains why I can absolutely house pasta.
Yeah.
Italian.
Oh, I'm half Italian.
I
You
would
can't see
I
it.
would have chalked you up as like Irish or something.
About 12%.
Okay,
Celtic.
really came through in that beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am a solid half Italian. You can tell from my chest hair. That is a coarse black.
This is not like medical advice or anything like that, but I'm serious. For probably 80% of the American population, they would solve upwards of 80% of their issues if they just looked at like their ancestry up 3 generations and ate the way that they did.
So I'm
Obsession
curious
with
really quickly.
preserved meats and cheese.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Probably a little further.
So my dad's side of the family is about as Irish as you can get with a little bit of English mixed in there. My mom's side of the family, a German man came over in 1765.
Oh, he came over all right.
He did. And then just
The invaders.
he proceeded to have a line of men that fought in every American conflict. Hang on, from the Revolution up until World War II, and each one of those sons, including the original guy who came from Germany, all married an Irish woman. So we started German on that side of the family, and then just became increasingly more Irish as we went down towards me. So I've got heavy Irish, a little bit of English, heavy Irish, a little bit of German.
There's something ironic about the Irish breeding the German out of your population.
Yeah.
Out of your family.
So what?
Just like,
what would
Becoming very unpure.
Right, but I'm feeling right good at the homeland. So what would be a good Irish, German, English diet?
sausage.
I mean,
I do really unusually like potatoes.
most of Europe, with the exception of Mediterranean, can eat relatively similarly.
Okay.
Then it's
Tomato
just a matter-
potato line.
Yes.
Yeah. The tomato
And the butter oil line.
Yeah.
I was going to say that was the other thing. And then there's one of the things that you'll find in pretty much every single diet across the entire world is some kind of fermented food. So being able to locate one of those that works well for you is another big one.
We got to start eating pickled herring, don't we?
Sauerkraut.
I was
I'm just
going to say
learning-
sauerkraut's the one.
Sauerkraut.
Oh,
that's the big
sauerkraut.
thing.
That'll be a good one, yeah.
All right.
I'm learning it's going to be interesting with Kat and I because I am what I am and she is Sicilian and Spanish. So with a little bit of Polish.
I'm gonna give you. All right. So I was dating a Korean gal for a while. What was her fermented food?
Kimchi.
Bang. Yeah. And guess what? When she started eating it, she felt really good. So yeah. Anyway, about the Donner Party.
Explains a lot.
I'm serious, dude. It's like this doesn't answer every like dietary and health.
This is
question.
perfect because Amanda and I are both German.
Yeah. No, dude. It's
At least according to my heritage.
oh
now.
no, this is gonna
Well,
get
you are
cut
from
for
First
the.
Eastern Pennsylvania.
So I don't know if you know this about me, but you almost met me at a slightly Jewish time in my life, because
What does that mean?
I was ethnically Jewish for a year and a half.
Okay, go on.
I took we had a deal with My Heritage. It's a Ancestry DNA kind of company. Did the test, sent
I
it
have
in.
that deal. I'm doing it in a bit.
Did you get
Okay,
wrong?
well, you're going to be Jewish for a year and a half. Good luck.
Did you get the wrong blood work?
No, it's hilarious. I don't know what happened, but they did the thing. They sent me the results, and they're like, "Yeah, so you're actually 4% Ashkenazi Jewish, 8% Middle Eastern,
Checks out.
14.6% Italian." That was the first red flag. I was willing to believe I'm a little Jewish. I was not willing to believe I'm not half Italian. So then, like 26% Iberian. Nowhere in my family lineage is anybody from Spain or Portugal, but there were some. There were some Spanish, like Spain owned that part of Italy for a while, southern Italy. So maybe there was somebody in there. And then it said that I was, I think, like 30% English. That broke my heart. But the part that tipped me off that this test had something deeply wrong with it was that I was 0% German. And I know how bad that sounds. I can't possibly be Jewish and not German, right? But I'm not. A year and a half later, I go to show this to somebody because I was like, this is hilarious. They must have messed up my sample with somebody. This can't be me. So I go to log in, and it's like, there's an update. They updated my genes.
Very similar story.
Yeah, so I go in. I'm no longer Jewish. I am now half Italian. I'm still like 20% English. Hurts a little bit less. What hurt more was that I'm a little bit French.
I've never had an original experience. This is crazy.
Yeah. So I went through the whole thing, and it's like 12%, Welsh, Scottish, Irish. And apparently I am not Pennsylvania Dutch, but my genetics cluster with Pennsylvania Dutch because the German side is from the same part of Germany at the same time.
Like Friesland, like that whole area.
I'm not sure exactly where in Germany, but yeah, basically they came over at the same time as the Amish. So I have the same German genetics as Amish people, but I have no Amish ancestors.
I could see you in an Amish getup.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yes. I'm going to name my sons Jeb and Zeke.
I mean,
Jebediah.
Zeke is a killer name.
Ezekiel.
So I had a very similar one. But it was with Ancestry, and it was the very expedited version of the story. I had a lot more North African than you might expect, and
That would be any.
yeah. So I was kind of just like
Hannibal Barca over here.
for a while I was kind of just like, oh, Okay.
You're like, I have the pass now.
Yeah, like perhaps I had a moment where I wondered. No, but then like, and that was kind of just something that
I was
sat with.
Afro curious.
Oh my god.
So it was like one of those things that I sat with for several years. I was like, that's crazy. I'm way blacker than you'd expect. And then I open up Ancestry probably 3 or 4 years ago, and it's like blah 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 update, and I was like, oh cool. And I mean, it was literally just like everything from North Africa on the map just went like straight to Europe, and I was like, oh, well, this isn't interesting anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, also one French ancestor, and
Yep.
he is
Ruins the
responsible.
bloodline.
He's responsible for me getting to America. So I got to shout out the
Did
French.
he marry a
See,
prostitute?
that's my.
I can't be sure.
Where did he move to?
I think it was Canada.
Probably not.
No, he didn't marry
Yeah,
a
it's-
prostitute.
Wait, how common is French marrying American
There was.
prostitutes?
Well, Steven, do you want to take this one?
yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
you're-
Short story I've told in a previous
Yeah, he's gonna
episode.
take it all right.
Short of it is that the French had a bit of a problem in the late 1600s, early 1700s. They had way too many criminals and not enough settlers in America. And Louisiana's a swamp that no one actually wanted to go to. But they needed to control it because the Mississippi River, very important. So some minister within the French government is like, hey, guys, what if we offered all the criminals a deal? We'll let you out of prison, but you're going to go to French Australia.
Is that what
Louisiana.
That's incredible.
And then what you're also going to do there is for all these criminal men, violent thugs, you're also going to marry a prostitute because we need to remove all these women off our streets.
Whoa.
And they do that. So a whole bunch of violent
They
criminals.
literally
and
sent out the Thought
prostitutes.
Patrol.
Yes! We lost
Unhig.
the end.
Unhig. The Thought Patrol was at work in France.
Yes. So the Thought Patrol was on patrol, and the thoughts were removed and sent to the swampy hellhole of Louisiana.
This is
Thoughts
fucking
were removed and
crazy.
sent to the swampy hellhole of Louisiana.
This is going to be a
and
fun.
that's not
Imagine
the only
you're
swampy
some
hole.
guy who all you did was like steal a wheel of cheese. you end
Oh
up,
my god.
You end up in
The punishment
Louisiana
did not
in a
fit the
swamp
crime.
where there's just malaria and criminals, and your wife has every single STD. Like, what a
Now
miserable.
you too have every single STD.
Yep.
Yeah, no wonder they sold it to us. Like Jefferson goes, he's like, "Can we buy New Orleans?" And Napoleon's like, "Please."
It was
Please
also a bit of a
take it.
problem that they had because there were already settlers that were there that were very unhappy with the idea of hundreds, if not thousands, of literal criminals showing up and establishing themselves in their city. So, if I recall correctly, that's the entire reason why New Orleans and Baton Rouge exist.
Damn.
Or it's like, just like, because you had the original settlement and then you have a city just outside of that settlement that became the criminal one.
Was
How
Baton
about-
Rouge the
how
criminal
about
one?
that Donner
I think
Party?
if I recall correctly. I'm probably
about that Donner Party?
mixing up those two histories right there, but I remember at least that detail that they established a separate city.
Does your shirt say "'Twas the Tylenol, my
I took
lord"?
the picture. It's so good. That is such a good shirt.
Oh my god!
My sister got me this.
I
year for
just
Christmas.
noticed it.
That's so great.
Shirt.
Yeah, that'll do it. All right.
Anyway, speaking of German diets, Donner Party.
Yeah.
It's a diet of Germans.
Yes.
So I'm from Northern Nevada, everybody. I lived in Reno for 29 years, and much the way that people will reference episodes of like the Rugrats and the Wild Thornberries and say, "Oh my God, I thought quicksand and that kind of stuff was going to be a lot more
Piranhas.
common." Yeah, quicksand, piranhas, all that kind of stuff. I thought it was going to be a lot more common. I really thought that there was a pretty strong non-zero chance that I would have to eat one of my friends at some point because we got a lot of Donner Party education throughout our I mean, every single year it was like okay, 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 4. This blah blah blah. Here's history. A lot of people got eaten in those mountains.
Yeah.
A lot of people got eaten in those mountains.
So many people got eaten in those mountains that it shows up in a completely separate work called Life Among the Paiute by Sarah Winnemucca. She talks about how when she was a little girl, the old women of her tribe told stories about how the white people eat each other in the mountains. And this was, she was born in like 1843. Which
My God.
She, like
This
literally,
is more recent than I would have anticipated.
literally, she's like, yeah, when I was a little girl, I remember one summer, the older women of the tribe were talking about white people who ate each other in the mountains the previous winter. The timing lines up so that she would have been hearing that in probably, if she remembered it, at the very earliest, the summer of 1847. Donner Party was 1846 into 1847. So Sarah Winnemucca references the Donner Party in a book about a completely different subject as folklore she learned about growing up as a Paiute.
Damn.
So Winnemucca.
That's also the Lovelock Giants story. That's where that comes from.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, I like briefly dove into that after we talked about it. So Winnemucca, in Nevada, is affectionately referred to as the muck, and that is where you go for a specific type of woman you would be interested in.
Ah,
Yes, the muck.
Well, now it sounds like you just came up with a new slur.
It does sound like that, and it is treated as.
Me and the boys are going up to meet some mucks. Like,
Oh
that's,
my
that's
We're gonna add it to the alphabetized list.
God,
well,
no.
Andrew Briggs. I think we just witnessed the creation of a new slur.
I'm very. Thank you, everybody, for being a part of this.
Release a shirt that is just saying "I heart mucks," and it's just like,
Oh my god!
So it's
Steven!
and it's
It's
just
two C's, by the way. MUCC.
and it's-
Don't clarify the slur.
Well, it is. It's Winnemucca, not Winnemuck.
Hey, I mean, if the
and then
French
it's-
had gotten there first,
it's
it would have
just-
been MUQUE.
It's literally just a picture of Muck the Pokemon, but with like wearing a bikini.
This is awful.
Grok, put me in a bikini.
Rock, make it small.
Anyway, so there's a band that I used to play with in the Bay Area called Sink This Ship. They later changed their name to As Artifacts. You can still find their music on Spotify under the As Artifacts name. And they had this song called Ain't No Party Like the Donner Party. And whenever they came to Reno, they had to drive through the Donner Pass to come to lovely Reno, Nevada and play shows.
You know what's really funny is George Donner never made it through Donner Pass. They named the pass after the party, not after him. He never got there.
Man.
Yeah, he died.
Who was the one that got through and then spent a lot of time trying to organize people to go
Oh my
back?
god, there were two. So the crazy thing about the Donner Parties, it's called the Donner Party. All anybody really knows about it. By the way, I learned I'm apparently one of the foremost historians on this topic.
That's crazy.
Dude, I had no idea.
I'm
Yeah.
so excited to relearn this.
I went on Red Thread and they were like, hey, they wanted me to come on and talk about the Donner Party. Also, Australians are hilarious. I love doing podcasts with Australians.
Yeah, they're great.
Their sense of humor is truly
What's his name again? The Australian guy?
Which one?
The people you want on the
Hello,
podcast.
everybody. We're here on the Red Thread today.
Oh god, why can I not remember their names? This is so embarrassing. Jackson?
Yeah, it is Jackson.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a while.
yeah.
I'm so bad. Sorry, guys.
I was gonna make sure we all stayed quiet until you figured that out.
Yeah, that's that. That was rude of you.
What's his last name?
Dart?
Thread? Anyway.
Quick, what's Obama's last name?
Oh, Bin Laden.
Close. What is it?
Hussein.
Nope.
That's his middle.
What is it?
Care.
There we go. Say it a little louder in the mic.
Care.
There we go.
Obama. Okay, continue. You're the foremost expert on the Donner Party.
Okay, I said one of.
The number one expert, he said.
No one knows more
Well, no,
than he
so I'm
does.
going on the show, and they're like, "Hey, do you have any, any videos you'd recommend watching on the Donner Party?" And I was like, "Yeah, let me look." And I couldn't find anything that was in depth as our video on it. And of course, that's 2.5 hours long. I was looking for something shorter, but I'm like, here's a bunch that are shorter. Apparently, ours is like the single most in-depth YouTube video on the Donner Party to exist, which I'm pretty proud of. It was a bitch to shoot because we didn't have the teleprompter yet, and I had handwritten all the notes.
And it was a bitch to edit because our usual video is about an hour plus or minus 15 minutes. So trying to cram a 2.5 hour video editing session while I still had a full-time job elsewhere that week as well.
That was tough. It took me 3 days to shoot. I might have cried on camera a few times.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a big
I was pretty
process.
stressed out. Anyway, how'd we get here?
Wait, it took you 3 days to shoot one episode?
Yeah, because I
I
didn't
recorded
have
a
teleprompter.
documentary in 3.5 hours.
All right.
All right, you know it's 4.5.
All right.
Continue. Yeah, all right, everybody. Continue.
See you do what I do.
So the guy who got out trying to get people to go back.
Right. So most people know the story as the Donner Party is a group of pioneers in the Oregon Trail who, got stuck in the mountains, ate each other, and then some of them were rescued. All of that's true. The part that a lot of people don't learn is that they sent a guy ahead of them named James Reed about the time they figured out that they were going to have a problem with supplies. He also killed somebody. It's up in the air whether it was murder or self-defense, and basically they were like,
West, baby.
we're in...
Accidents happen.
They're literally like, well, we're in Mexico now, so the law is whatever we come up with, because we're obviously not taking it to the Mexican authorities. There weren't any anywhere near them, because there were only 15,000 actual, Spanish Mexicans in Alta California at the height of the Mexican population of Alta California. When people are like,
Someone make a stolen land joke.
Well, that's what drives me nuts. People are like, oh, well, U.S. used to look like this. And it's like Mexico. And it's like Mexico never had a presence in that part of North America.
I think Mexico was only Mexico for it
was only part of Mexico for 20 years.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say 10, but yeah.
Yeah, it was between the Mexican Revolution and the Mexican-American War. It was not a long time.
No.
So there, by the time of the Mexican-American War, if I'm not mistaken, there were more Americans living in Alta California than Mexicans ever had. So it's just a silly argument to be like, this used to be Mexico. It's like, yeah, but was it really? It was claimed by Spain. That's what it was. Point is, James Reed goes ahead because they're like, well, we're not going to kill you, but we also can't have you here. So we're going to, go ahead and get us help. So he goes ahead and gets help, and he goes to Fort Sutton. And he gets there and he's like, hey, Sutter's Fort, sorry. We need some help getting through the mountains. And they're like, yeah, well, we can try. We can send a little bit of aid up there, but we don't really have all that much to give. Why don't you go try enlisting in the army? And so he goes and he enlists in Fremont's militia and fights with the pioneer and I think later Civil War general John Fremont against the Mexicans, all for the purpose of getting in with the military brass in the area, so he can go to the one actual federal authority in California, the U.S. Navy, and ask the U.S. Navy if they can send some supplies up to what is the Truckee Pass? That's what it was called at the time.
Truckee.
And they're like, yeah, we can do that. So they send some people. This is getting pretty late into the story. James Reed goes with them because he had to leave his family behind. This other guy, William Eddy, is back with the party. And they're like, we're getting snowed in here. We're going to have some trouble. We need to get help. So anybody who can should try and get over the mountains. And so William Eddy volunteers and a whole bunch of other people volunteer. This is actually where I think most of the people being eaten happened, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of people got eaten back at the camp too, but under different circumstances. They start going over the pass. They get stuck. They have to go back down. They construct some snowshoes. They go back up. William Eddy leads a party of mostly adults. I think there were a few teenagers involved, like one or two, but older teenagers, mostly adults. And they take along their 2 Native American guides. And so they're working their way back. They take a wrong turn. They end up going away from where they were supposed to be. They go over the wrong mountain. They get stuck. They start, their shoes are falling apart. Their clothes are falling apart. People are getting frostbite. And William Eddy is just driving them forward. But there's this other guy also named Will, who eventually, once they're really starving, somebody dies. And they're like, we gotta eat this person or we're all gonna die. At this point, I don't think anybody had been eaten back at the camp before they left. So that was their first brush with cannibalism. They ended up doing that, not everyone. But as time goes on and more people die and there's less and less food, basically everyone in the party except Luis and the other guy's name is escaping me. But William, Eddy, Luis, and the other guy, the other native, are the only ones refusing to eat any flesh. I think eventually the natives did break and they broke last. But when William Eddy starts to realize there's a problem is when they have just killed a deer and the other Will wants to eat people. And so he's now stuck in the mountains with some people who are barely strong enough to keep moving. One guy who's actively waiting for the next person to die or suggesting that they kill their Native American guides and eat them. And he's just trying to keep it together long enough to get to Sutter's Fort. Ends up being that they're going to eat the natives. So Eddy goes to them at night and warns them and is like, you guys got to go. Like, they're going to start eating people, eating you guys. You have to go. They go. They actually don't make it. He ends up putting them out of their misery before the others can, mercilessly, ruthlessly kill them and eat them.
What do you mean they didn't make it?
They just died of starvation. They got ahead of the group, but then
They found him, though.
they eventually found him and they were literally in the process of dying from starvation. They finally do make their way down, and
Wait, did they eat them?
they did eat them.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, William Eddy did not eat them. but the rest of the people did. They had deer by this point. They had killed a deer. They had dried the strips. Like, they had food. So they get everybody down, and eventually they run into a Native American settlement. The Native Americans are like, scared of them at first because of how they look. They just look that bad. And so they take them in, and they're like, all right, we'll feed you. We'll help you get to the, what we can. We'll help you get to the next settlement. And so they basically do this like daisy chain of like Native American settlements until they eventually make their way to Sutter's Fort, where one of them ends up dying because he gorged himself. Yeah.
He overate
to death.
Oh, that happened a lot after the Holocaust.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the people who got liberated when they were brought back into kind civilization. Everybody wanted to like be really good and like give them food because they're all like emaciated and like near death. And some of the people who just got, really excited about it, they ate so much that their body literally couldn't handle the processing of the digestion, and it killed them.
Damn.
Yeah. So that happened to a couple of people, or one person with the Donner Party. But the crazy part of the story is that as William Eddy is coming down, he runs into James Reed, who's on his way up with a rescue party, and basically gives him directions.
So you're saying James went on the single craziest side quest of his life?
Yeah, we're like, we need to make a show about this.
Still didn't succeed on the execution of the quest.
He did, because he did get the supplies there. They weren't able to get everybody out at once. But as William Eddy is getting down there and letting Sutter's Fort know what's going on, James Reed is on his way up with supplies and volunteers and everything. There are some crazy like individual acts of heroism sprinkled in here that I just can't recall who did them off the top of my head. But one guy who carried 2 like starving children like on his shoulders for miles. Not, by the way, volunteer, like not involved with the party, just a good dude who was like, I'm not letting these kids die, and just carried them. Big guy, like really big guy. So there's, I think, 3 or 4 total rescue missions to try and get everybody out of the pass. And they've got to leave people behind each time. William Eddy, the crazy thing about him is that he gets to Sutter's Fort, tells everybody what's going on, gets bandaged up, and gets right back out there to go back because his family's there. James Reed, obviously, also instrumental in helping get the supplies there. They get more and more people out each time. There are, of course, people who have to be left behind. Basically, anybody who isn't strong enough to get over the mountains themselves. Until eventually there's only a few people left. The tragedy here is that without William Eddy, a lot more people would have died. William Eddy's entire family died. Yeah. James Reed, on the other hand, his family was one of the only ones that did not, I think they were the only family where every single member refused to eat a human being. They're the only family that made it out completely unscathed. Which you think about like the kind of the karma there. It's like, they never agreed to go that far, and they're the only family that got out without losing a member. The worst of the bunch, the worst of the bunch was Louis Keseberg, though. He's the one that everybody remembers as the cannibal there. He was also just a piece of shit overall. Like, beat his wife, beat his child, might have killed somebody like while they were on the trip for that person's gun. Whole bunch of awful things he did. When they finally get back up there, they keep leaving Louis Keseberg behind because everybody hates him. And there's just like children involved. They eventually find out that Keseberg may or may not have killed a child for the sake of eating that child. He did eat William Eddy's son, and William.
Oh my God, dude!
William Eddy told him, and it's one of the like hardest lines ever. But William Eddy got there, found out what happened, looked at Keseberg, and said, "I cannot remember the exact words, but it was something along the lines of." I'd kill you where you stand, but God, it was something about it being dishonorable to kill him in the state he was in because Keseberg was so frail and everything. But he was like, basically, if I ever see you again, I'll kill you. Like I won't do it now. And he later tried to was considering it. He was just depressed. His whole family was dead. He just started a new family though, and things were starting to go well. But he was thinking about it. And James Reed was actually one of the ones that talked him off the ledge of like, you cannot go find and kill this man. Like you made it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Keseberg was awful, but when they found him on the last trip, I think he was the last person to come out. And I know that there were definitely discussions of like, can we just leave him behind?
I mean, obviously there would be a scenario like that.
Like, can we just not go get this guy? I think there was also somebody else they were trying to find who had been, I think it was Tamsin Donner, had still been alive when they left because George Donner was dying and she wouldn't leave him. And they were actually several miles down, like outside of Truckee Lake. So they get there. Tamsin's dead. It's, I think, just Louis Keseberg who's still alive. And the rescue party finds, and this is why, again, this would, I think, be the opening of the show if we made it, so nobody steal this. But if we were to do a show on this, I think the opening scene would be the rescue party showing up and finding Keseberg's camp and finding a dead ox half buried in snow, but still like frozen, like preserved, but also a open human skull and human meat cooking on the fire. And Keseberg's nowhere to be found, which proves that he had access to
It
beef
just became a preference
and
thing.
chose to eat human beings. And I think that moment would be like a good cold open to a show like that, where you just, because it tells you exactly, like, for example, 1883, the Taylor Sheridan show. Starts with this climactic moment where there's a gunfight with Native Americans and a girl gets kidnapped, and like then it just leads up to that. That's not the end of the show. It's just like kind of the mid-season climax. But I think that's kind of the way to do it for a Donner Party show, because it shows you exactly how bad things got, but how the hell did we get here?
Yeah.
Keseberg they got him out. There were always rumors that he like knew about a treasure or whatever, that he knew where somebody had stashed all their gold. I think he ended up actually like fessing up, and the family whose money it was went and got it. But Keseberg gets rescued, comes back, tries to repair his image and be like, no, I only ate people because I had to. And everybody's like, come on, Keseberg.
A little bit of a historical rewrite.
Yeah. And at first, he managed to get his feet beneath him, which is tragic. But the good news is that he eventually did die completely penniless and alone. And he is buried in an unmarked grave somewhere in San Francisco.
Damn.
Yeah.
I really think like this deserves to be a Chernobyl style
Yeah.
like limited series on HBO.
Dude,
And we have their diaries. Like not complete, but we have a lot of their like day by day. That's what I used to make the video. Is I just went through each diary entry and I was like, all right, what happened on this day? What happened on this day? What happened on this day, from all the different perspectives. And so during I went chronologically. So during the video, I'm jumping back and forth between William Eddy's party, the camp, James Reed, and that party who went out there was actually, they got a pretty sick name. They were called the Forlorn Hope.
pretty dope.
Yeah.
According to a lot of cannibals, the part that tastes the best on a human is pretty unanimously the ass. So
I mean,
That would track.
Yeah, that would track.
It's why it slips into all of our colloquialism about people eating ass.
yeah,
It's just-
exactly. It's definitely not the people that are doing it for fun.
I just gave that whole lecture on the Donner Party, and you guys boiled it down to eating ass. I hate this show.
Well, speaking
And on
of
that note, my friends,
it's time for Patreon.
All right, so you guys know what's coming up. On Patreon,
Eating
the
ass.
ass-eating section of the show. I guess we'll flip a coin, and somebody's getting bent over. Yeah, they also have a serious population decline problem on the horizon in Japan. Like,
I'm open to helping.
yeah. A lot of people owe Alex Jones an apology.
Did you see?
Wait. So many people owe Alex Jones an apology.
There was a.
Hello.
What they would do.
Can I say something without everybody getting mad? They're like, well, we've only got one pizza, or one slice, but how thinly sliced do you want it? Also, the pizza's pregnant. And you're like, okay, well,